Welcome into another episode of From the East Side, TexAg student podcast for students, by students. I'm your co-host, Luke Evangelist. She's Kay Nagley, and today we are excited to be sitting down with one of the bright young stars of Texas A&M football, Torian York. Torian, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, man. It's a pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. So we're going to start it off pretty light and pretty easy. Tell us about your freshman year, and also we want to know about the moment you found out you would be starting.
Well, my freshman year was a whirlwind for sure, I would say, just because so many ups and downs were going on. But I started running with the ones during spring ball whenever Chris had got an injury. And then I knew I could play with him for then. And then by day 5 was the first open practice. So when we were all in the stadium and it was open to the public, that's whenever I knew I was going to be starting. So that night we watched film, and then he told me that I was going to start going with the ones, but I didn't believe him, so I didn't tell none of my family or my friends. I thought it was just all a ploy to make Coop and Chris go harder, but Coach Durkin was a man of his word, so I have the utmost respect for him for, first of all, putting me in that position to play, but then 2, just actually sticking by his word and him starting me every game.
Yeah, that's a cool way to find out, or maybe doubt yourself, just maybe you don't know for sure. But anyway, so we want to talk about some of the new staff. You've been getting to know them. What have your first impressions of Coach Jay Bateman been like?
Coach Bateman is great. I mean, it's a different way of teaching with him opposed to Coach Durkin, but it's still clear and concise. He gets to the point. I mean, he's a jokester, man. He likes to have a smile, have a good time as well. I mean, it's the game of football we all grew up playing and loving. So, you always have to find fun in the little things, So Coach Bateman is fun, but he's also about his business, and he's concise with how he explains the plays.
Yeah. So some of your teammates played under Coach Elko last time he was here. When he first got hired, what did you hear from them, and then what have your first impressions been of him?
Well, me and Coach Elko go way back, but, it's different opposed to being a recruit, opposed to actually playing with them, But, they told me that he's always going to have second half adjustments on lockdown for sure, that he was going to be a physical practice. He wants to bring the best out of everybody, and from what I've seen so far, he's been doing it.
That's awesome. So I've told you this before, and I feel like a lot of the fan base, the video of you tearing up on National Signing Day, it just gets me every time. It's just such a feel-good video. If I were to tell you then, when that video happened, that you would start all 12 games, you'd register 74 tackles in SEC play, 8.5 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks, and be placed on the SEC All-Freshman team, what would you have told me then?
Well, I would have believed you because I knew what I'm capable of doing, but did I know it's going to happen that fast? No, I just felt like I worked too hard, and I'm too well known at Temple to ride the bench, and so I couldn't bear the weight of me going back to Temple and not playing. It was something in my head was I'm gonna find a way on the field no matter what. But when it come to the awards, I didn't know what none of that was. I didn't know what SEC Freshman of the Week was. That stuff like that just comes from doing the right thing and doing it over and over again. So when I got that week 4, I thought that was pretty cool as well. But definitely I knew I was capable of doing it. But on this stage, it's just all a blessing, to be honest.
Yeah, take us back to that first game at Kyle Field against New Mexico, your first time running out of the tunnel to the 100,000 fans. What was that moment like for you?
Yeah, I couldn't stop smiling, to be honest. It was just, we started off on defense first, so it was good to get the jitters out the way, but definitely stadium was loud, my mouth was dry, so I had one of our GAs hold some chapstick for me because my lips were getting chapped and everything. So prior to midway through the season, I had to have some chapstick on the sideline because, man, my lips were getting chapped from
essentials.
I was trying to scream over the fans and get up there and tell Mac and Rakes to call, So, it's all in the beauty of it, Kyle Field, it doesn't get better than that.
So we want to talk a little about your boy, Edgerrin Cooper, played alongside you all season. How special was it to just be next to him, and then just talk about this past season he had?
That's my guy, man. On our visit, we just hit it off instantly. He just told me what it was with A&M and why he came here, and then what it was like playing in the SEC, So I think we coincide great with each other. I feel like our skill set worked great together. He was more speed and I was more power, and then we put together, it was like thunder and lightning, So Coop is, I hope the best for Coop, and I know that he's going to do great things in the NFL.
So what round do you think he should be drafted in?
First round.
First round?
Yeah, definitely first round. He's going to test good.
First linebacker off the board?
I know he's going to interview good, and I know as long as he can interview great and he can tell him what he was doing on the defense, he's going to be, no doubt first rounder for sure.
Yeah.
This might reveal who your favorite NFL team is, but if you got to pick a team to draft Coop, who would it be?
Well, my favorite team is the 49ers, so I wouldn't mind Coop playing with Fred Warner, just being able to learn under them, because I know they drafted D winners last year from TCU in later rounds. But I feel like if Cooper were to go to the 49ers, he could learn from Greenlaw and Warner, and so then hopefully he could elevate Winters and Coop to play. But I want to play for the 49ers too. So, you feel me? So it's all.
Hey, y'all can run it back one day.
I know we can run it back. I hope that's the plan, because I feel like we're already gonna know what to expect from each other, and then obviously the NFL is such a greater scale. So. feel like he could definitely fill me in on how the NFL is whenever I get there. And then, we just go from there, to be honest.
So were you disappointed with this result this past weekend?
Yeah, I was hurt because we've been to 7 NFC championships. You just can't never win the big thing, But I mean, it ain't my job and I'm not on the team yet, so I can only say so much as a fan. But I mean, if I can play for the 49ers one day, I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to lose.
You're like, we're going to change this up.
Definitely.
So let's bring it back to being a student at A&M. What has that been like for you? Because I can imagine it's not your normal student experience.
No, it's not normal, but I mean, I'm just a normal guy, and I'm not 6'6". So some people, you really have to know football and know A&M sports to know who I am. Because whenever I go to class, I don't know if they do know or they don't know, but I know nobody really bothers me. Yeah. Sometimes when I'm walking across campus, somebody will be like, "Hey, Torian," or something, but kind of catch me off guard because I walk with my AirPods in. So I think they said something to me, but I look back and they're smiling and I'm smiling at them. So just unique. Experiences like that have just been awesome, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What has Tommy Moffitt's strength program been like for you, the early returns on it?
It reminds me a lot of Temple back in 2019, 2020. But as far as Olympic lifts and all that, that's brand new to me. But I feel like Coach Moffitt he does a great job of explaining it. His strength staff, his support staff is awesome as well. I mean, all those guys, they work very hard and diligently, and they look at all of our numbers from the catapult to our heart rate and how fast you're moving the bar on the perch app. So, Coach Moffitt's been doing an outstanding job so far.
Awesome. So he implements Olympic lifts, is that what you're saying? Can you expand on that?
Snatches, hang snatches. Today we just implemented hang snatches, and I mean, it was new, but I felt like how they described it and the detail they put in it, I mean, it wasn't very hard to pick up.
Okay, that's cool. That's an interesting little tidbit. So we know you've had a lot of new teammates come into the program over the last couple months with Mike Oster. He went on in the portal and all the 2024 guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball. What has it been like getting to know all those new additions?
I mean, it's just awesome to see other people's perspectives from football and the experiences that they have because, some of them we might have crossed paths. All these coaches are in a carousel as well. So, the coaches at Florida, we might know them from when we were getting recruited. Yeah. We just go all way back, and it's interesting to see how we might have crossed paths, but we just didn't know it at the time.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also, is there one new guy that you're really gelling with so far? Maybe a new transfer?
My guy Alex, for sure. The linebacker Alex. We spend a lot of time together just picking each other's brains. So I definitely feel comfortable playing next to Alex, for
sure.
What
about a 2024 new
2024 kid? I like Miles Davis. I like Jordan Pride. I mean, that whole class, they just Jordan Lockhart, that's my guy for sure. His locker's next to mine. Nice. So Jordan, it doesn't get much purer than that. I think he's definitely what comes in similar to me, just a good head on his shoulders. He knows what he wants. Just quiet guy, but I mean, he's not scared to voice his opinion or to be himself, honestly. His haka that he does from his native and in California, I mean, it's awesome. He did it today in the weight room, and it got everybody's attention.
That's cool.
So.
That's awesome. I can tell you're a really driven young man. What are some of your goals and expectations that you have for 2024?
Well, All-American again, buckets, SEC championship, national championship, just whatever I can do to keep on adding hardware to my shelf, It's different whenever you actually see the award, when they text me saying that my All-SEC award had got to the circle desk, I just ran over there. It was an unknown number. It could have been a kidnapper. I ran straight to the circle desk.
Excited.
Yeah, I beat the dude who actually had my award because I was just so excited to see an award and the big SEC gold-plated. It doesn't get much better than that.
That's awesome.
So it was awesome, and just sitting on my dresser in my room. So.
That's so cool. Hey, hopefully you can clear off some more space for more accolades.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do some rapid-fire questions. We're calling it Torian's Top 10 with Mr. Torian York himself, Texas A&M linebacker. So first of all, what is your favorite A&M tradition?
A&M tradition? The war hymn, for sure. My mom told me that she was flying to the Tennessee game and somebody in first class got a phone call and their ringtone was the war hymn.
Nice.
And it was playing. I guess they couldn't find their phone, so she said it played probably for a minute and a half. So I definitely would say the war hymn for sure.
Who's your favorite non-football athlete at A&M?
Favorite non-football athlete at A&M? I like Wade Taylor. He a good basketball player for sure from what I've seen and how he just always constantly going trying to get them a W, So I have the utmost respect for him.
We love Wade Taylor.
Yeah, we do. For sure.
What your favorite play this past year?
My favorite play this past year, it had to have been the first play at Auburn whenever I got the tackle for loss on the quarterback. And we sent a blitz off the edge with Bryce, and Bryce forced it back inside of me, and then it just happened to fall into my hands, and I made the play. And then just my first SEC game overall, I just didn't know what to expect. People would tell me how hard the SEC is, and then go out there and have a career game versus Auburn, So just trying to have more games like that, to be honest.
There may not be an answer for this, but a player on the team that you least want to tackle.
Now, I least want to tackle Mark Naboo when they give him the ball. Come on now. I didn't even know Mark scored versus LSU till I got on the bus, and like it was all over ESPN and Sports Center. And I was like, we gave Mark the ball and he scored. So definitely. And I mean, Rakes last year we were doing like a scout period, and Ole Miss plays with the tight end who's also a defensive tackle, so he's a bigger body. So we had Rakes on the scout team doing that play. I mean, I had to thud him up, and I mean, Rakes was no small guy either. So I would say Rakes and Naboo for sure were two people that I really don't want to tackle.
That's so funny. If you had a podcast, who would be your co-host from on the team?
Co-host on my team, I'd probably say Mike Teese, my roommate. I just feel like we flow together good. We have a lot of the similar interests, So, I mean, when we talk at night, we talk about the game. We talk about NFL, NBA, like you name it, we can talk about it, And so I feel like I could do that with Mike for sure.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any pregame superstitions?
Pre-game superstitions? No, not sure. Like the kind of like the rituals get mixed up week to week because of the game time. So you might have time to do like the hot tub here at home, but you don't have it on the away games, So just it's always just what I feel comfortable in the moment right now. But I don't feel like I have nothing too crazy.
Gotcha. Favorite College Station restaurant?
Cooper's Barbecue.
Ooh,
I love Cooper's
good
Barbecue.
Plug, yeah.
Definitely Cooper's Barbecue for sure.
Make your dream concert lineup. Give us an opener, a headliner, and a closer.
Ooh, so 3.
Yeah.
So I need NBA YoungBoy.
Okay.
I need Rylo Rodriguez, and I would need like a Lil Durk or a Chief Keef.
Nice.
It's a pretty bumping concert.
No, definitely. Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, I know Lil Durk and YoungBoy really don't get along, but I feel like we gotta come together. Yeah, we gotta come together as one. We gotta have a great concert.
Do it for Tori.
Exactly. Do it for Tori. Yeah. They never hurt nobody.
What is the worst fashion trend right now, in your opinion?
The worst fashion trend. I don't know, because when I see the NFL players' fits, I just know that the fit costs money.
Yeah.
But it's not really the nicest fit. But I would say, I don't know. The red boots were crazy time. But I think they're unique. Like if somebody was wearing them in College Station, it would probably be posted on Barstool. But I don't know if I would wear those out and about.
Yeah. You don't know if you could pull that
No,
off.
I don't know if I could pull it off. It don't fit my
maybe,
body.
but what is your go-to celebration?
My go-to, I got to throw the mask on, man. SG, I've been doing it since like probably the 10th grade. Well, really 9th grade going to 10th grade, that COVID time is whenever I did it. Because I got it from Jameson Williams. He was at Ohio State. And whenever Ohio State was recruiting him from St. Cardinal Ritter way back in St. Louis, Missouri. So I've known about JMO before he played for the Lions, Alabama. Like, I was supposed to play Call of Duty with him, actually. So if you're seeing this, we were supposed to play Call of Duty. He never accepted my friend request. He told me to add him, and he never played.
Come on.
But I got that celebration from him, so I would say that's my go-to for sure.
That's awesome. Well, Torian, we are wishing you the best of luck this next season and off season. Hopefully, y'all keep killing it with the Moffitt method and all that. That is Torian York. Shout out to Torian York for a great interview. Now it's time to move over to the Diamond. We are here with our TexAgs student softball reporter, Idani Cantu. We are so glad to have you joining us for a little From the East Side. So Trisha Ford just began her second season in Aggieland. What have your I know they just started the season, but what have your early impressions been of just her attitude going into her second year?
I think Ford has a very strong attitude, strong mindset. She was talking about how last year was her first year. It was kind of a trial and error moment. This year it's like, okay, we're going to get down to business. The honeymoon phase is over. And I believe she's taking things a lot more seriously now, saying, okay, after Friday's games, she said, okay, we did some good, but we did some bad, and even though we did good, we're going to focus on that bad because we need to get better at that. So I think she's having that growth mindset, instilling it in the girls also, and making sure that they know too, okay, we did good, but we need to get better, and we need to do that for the rest of the season. Yeah,
they definitely took care of some business. They went 4-0 in the season opening Aggie Classic. Take us over just what were your impressions of the Friday doubleheader and what you liked most in A&M's wins?
I think that the girls' offense is amazing. I know that junior right fielder Allie Enright, she hit a home run, one in each game. She did amazing, and she had talked about after in the press conference that she's been going hard at the weight room. She's been putting a lot of effort in, and she was also talking about how Coach Ford has been really putting in those drills to make sure that these girls are getting better at what they do. And also senior right-handed pitcher Shaylee Ackerman, she started off really strong on that Friday. She pitched for 3 innings before being switched out, but again, she was doing really well with that also.
Awesome. Yeah. So the Aggies had rain just cut them off from play completely on Saturday, and then returned to action for another doubleheader against Tulsa on Sunday. You mentioned Ali Enright. Just also tell us some other names that stood out to you offensively.
Offensively, I would definitely have to say Trinity Canyon. So she got walked a lot on Sunday against Tulsa, but she was talking about in the press conference how, you know what, like if Ali can bring in those home runs, that she'll continue to be taking those walks. She also hit a home run on Sunday against Tulsa. She was walked about 8 times on Sunday in total. So, you know, coming from someone who's a designated player, you know, she has those strong hits. You know, she's also able to stay patient and say, okay, you know what, like for this part, I'm going to have to take a walk for my team if that's what I have to do.
They played really well this weekend, and they're heading up to San Diego later. What do you think this team is capable of throughout this entire season?
I definitely think that Ford has a good lineup of pitchers. She talked about how she's willing to get everybody in. She's going to rotate them. You're going to see them coming in and out a lot pretty often. Junior left-handed pitcher Emily Kennedy did amazing on Sunday. On Friday, she had a little bit of a rocky start. She went in for 3 innings. Coach Ford took her out, put her back in on Game 2 against Tulsa, and she pitched for all 6 innings, and she had a total of 12 strikeouts with 9 in the second game, 3 in the first game, and she just did amazing. She was pitching at about 70 miles per hour, and I think she really scared those girls on the other team and kind of taking advantage of that timidness from the other team and saying, you know what, like I'm on a high right now, I'm going to continue and I'm going to do whatever I can to, you know, stick it out for my team. I also think the offense is really strong this year. You know, you got players like Trinity Cannon, like Julia Cottrell, Jasmine Hill, you know, all these girls are coming at it with the home runs, with that offensive help. And I think by putting that together, you know, you're going to have a great team for this season.
Yeah, we're really excited to see what Aggie softball does. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we can make this a weekly thing, in addition to having some baseball coverage starting as baseball begins their season on Friday. So that is it for this episode of From the East Side with your hosts Kay Nagley and Luke Evangelist. Thanks for watching.